So I was lying in bed and I could hear this strange cat-like growling sound. And I thought, well, that's a bit odd because we don't have a cat anymore. Long story, cat allergy. So I thought, well, maybe it's Budget Lady and she's found the secret Stern landing ship project. Oh dear. So anyway, the cat-like growling sound was getting louder and louder, and I came downstairs and I realised it was a big angry cat called the Leopard 2A7 Pro. And do you know what? This is really growing on me. This is the Vespid 1 in 72nd model kit. It is not an easy kit to build. It looks 100 times better painted than it did unpainted. And like I said, do you know what? It's really growing on me. The Leopard 2A7 features a remote weapon system, very similar to the one found on the Boxer. It features enhanced protection both on the hull, lower side and on the front and on the side of the turret. And it's got this, which I think is some kind of soft kill or hard kill active protection system. I hope it's a hard kill active protection system because that would really enhance the tank and its protection. The rear is the same Leopard. They don't really, apart from the slat armour, really protect them a bit more than that. And this thing is packed with technology. So down on the sides here, you've got some cameras, you've got cameras at the rear. And like I said, you've got the active protection system, I think it is, on here. The commander's got his own little screen there. There's a commander's hunter killer sight here. And do you know what? This thing is a lot better armoured than a standard Leopard 2A7. The standard Leopard 2A7 is basically the 2A6 armour level. Now this does feature a belly plate, so that's really good. That's protection against mines and IEDs. This is the best protected Leopard model there is. Personally, I think they could have stuck some extra top armour from the Stridsvagn 122B on, but do you know what? This has really grown on me now it's completed. I didn't do the cables on the back because they were just too fiddly. They actually supply real metal cables in this, and just couldn't get them to fit properly. So the RWS as well is quite an intricate little kit that has smoke grenade launchers, and there's 6 smoke grenade launchers on each side of the turret. There is some photo etched in the Vespid kit, so these pieces are the air filters. They are photo etched, and there's a few other little bits on there. Now, I'm not a fan of photo etched. I find it really difficult to model with, but I am a fan of extra armour on tanks, and I think this is, like I said, this is really growing on me. So let's do a bit of a mini comparison. So we've got my upgraded Merkava 4, we've got the Challenger 2 TES, we've got the Abrams, and then what's this? Well, this is an Armata. Now, no one really knows what the Armata is. Is it a concept project? Is it a future tank? Is it a technology demonstrator? I guess you'd have to ask Putin, and well, no one's speaking to him. And then we've got a T-90P, the latest one, which is the Pyrov. So this is a T-90 Pyrov. The T-90's gone through a lot of evolution as well, just like the Leopard has. But you can see, this is the Zvezda kit, you can see just how small the T-90 actually is. And that's something we often forget when we look at Russian and Soviet tanks, is just how tiny they actually are compared to their Western counterparts. So if we sit the T-90M Pyrov next to the Leopard, we can see just how small it is in comparison. Now, of course, the T-90 Pyrov has 3 crew, and this one is before all the cope screens and the anti-drone screens, but it does have slat armour on the side, and then it's got this spaced armour here, spaced armour along the turret. Actually a very similar armour scheme to the Leopard, where you've got the spaced armour running along, and you've got the sloped armour or slanted armour, sloped, I guess, at the front, and a very similar sort of arrangement on both tanks like that. The T90 does have more armour coming up towards the commander's position, and these T90s are better than the T-72B3Ms because they actually have the propellant for the main round in a bustle at the back, and that has greatly enhanced their survivability. Weight wise, they are considerably less, around 20 tons less than the Western tank, and again, just look at the size difference between the Leopard and the T90. They're different world. Now, I don't model the Russian Z scheme because one, I don't want to end up on an anti-terror list, and two, whatever Russia's reasons are for invading Ukraine, ultimately the invasion is illegal. There are other ways to solve problems than smashing your neighbour's doors in. Let's have a look at the Armata next to the Leopard 2A7. Now, the Armata is a much bigger vehicle than the T90. In fact, it's one of the biggest tanks out there. This is the Trumpeter kit, which is actually a really nice kit to build. The Armata has this unmanned turret on the top, and people have said, oh, well, it's not got any armour, it's not got any armour in the turret bit. The crew actually sit in this armoured module at the front here, the free crew, and this is an unmanned turret. It does have a remote weapon station on the back, and the turret contains lots of countermeasures. So underneath on the turret, you've got those smoke grenade launchers, you've got the ejection port, then you've got grenade launchers on the top, and I suspect that this is a form of top attack armour on there. Now, like I said, the Armata is significantly bigger than the preceding Soviet Russian vehicles, because of course most of these vehicles originated, the Russian vehicles like the Ukrainian T-64 originated in Soviet times. For those that don't know, and this is a bit of a tangent, the T-64s were made in Kharkiv, which of course then in 1991 became part of what became Ukraine. Hence why Ukraine uses lots of T-64s and T-84 oplots, whereas the Russians used T-90s and T-80s from their production plants. So the Armata next to the Leopard, let's get back on track, is, you know, as big, and the Armata has an interesting armouring scheme, because the Armata has an armouring scheme very similar to the Challenger 2 TES here, which has the slatted armour going along the side and to the rear. The TES has more rear armour. I think the Armatas are now carrying the same armour as in this demonstration, but the T90s are now carrying even more slatted armour. So it's really interesting how concepts have been picked up. So from the low intensity war, which was actually, like I've said before, high intensity when you're facing EFP threats in Iraq, where RPG threats, tandem charge RPG threats, where you've got this slat armour going on, and you've got slat armour on the Leopard 2A6 Canadian. And then the Armatas are picking up on this armour scheme as well. The Armata, of course, has armour along the whole side, and a lot of considerable armour here. This will be reactive armour, I would expect, on the Armata on the front, in standard with the Russian practice here. And then on the Leopard, this will be passive composite armour here on the top. The Germans have really used that concept a lot from the Leopard 1A5M, this sort of composite material and spaced armour scheme. But it's really interesting to me to see how things have evolved and how the armour schemes of all modern tanks reflect some similarities in practice. Where they differ is in terms of the individual requirements of each country, and you can see how to face combat in the urban theatre. The Americans upgraded their Abrams. We did the same with the Challenger 2 TES. These radies, of course, have got the Merkava 4M, which has its belly plate underneath. I've then upgraded that considerably. But in terms of armour and everything like that, this Leopard is really grown on me now. I've painted it. I really like it. I'm tempted to build a few more. I'm probably going to be not allowed to due to budgetary constraints. But yeah, like I said, it's starting to grow on me. The big cat is growling. Take care.